So today, I want to talk about something that sounds simple, but honestly, it can hurt a lot when you really think about it, and that is this idea of an expiry date, especially for women. I want to explain it in a very real and honest way, because this is something many people feel but don't always say out loud. So when we say expiry date, we are not talking about food. We are not talking about milk or canned goods. We are talking about people. And that already sounds wrong, right? Because human beings are not products. But in some cultures, especially in parts of East Asia, there's this invisible timer placed on women. Like society is quietly counting down. And once a woman reaches a certain age, usually around 30, people start to look at her differently. Like she missed something. Like she is late. Or worse, like she has lost value. And that is where this idea of expired comes in. And I'm going to be very direct here because this is the truth. A woman's value is not like a carton of milk. It does not suddenly go bad just because she got older. And yet, this thinking still exists. And it still affects real people, real lives, real choices. Now, let's talk about Japan first. Because there is this old saying there, and even if it's fading now, the idea still lingers. And that is the comparison of women to Christmas cakes. The idea is simple but very harsh. Christmas cakes are popular before December 25th, but after that they are harder to sell. So they compared women to that, saying that after age 25, a woman becomes less desirable. And even if younger people today don't always say it directly, the pressure is still there in a quieter way. Especially in work culture, in social expectations, and in family conversations. Many women feel like they have to follow a certain timeline. Finish school, get a stable job, get married, have children, all before a certain age, or else they feel left behind. Now we look at South Korea. The pressure is just as strong, but in a slightly different way, because there is a huge focus on image, youth, and perfection. And when I say image, I mean how you look, how you present yourself, and even your relationship status. There is this strong idea that success includes having the perfect life. And that often means being married by a certain age. So women who are in their 30s or even 40s and still single sometimes feel invisible. Like society is not designed for them anymore. Like they are outside the system. And that feeling can be very heavy because it's not just about love. It's about identity, belonging, and self-worth. Now I want to talk about the Philippines. Because this is where things feel very different. And I'm not saying it's perfect, because it's not. But the mindset is not as strict. One big reason is our cultural roots. We have strong respect for women, especially older women, like our grandmothers, our mothers, and even female leaders in the family. As a woman gets older here, she does not lose power. In many cases, she gains it, and that is something I really noticed growing up. Then we have what we call tita culture. This is very interesting, because being a single tita in the Philippines is not always seen as something sad. In fact, many times, it is seen as something strong, something independent. You are the one with a career. You are the one who can travel. You are the one who can help your family. Yes, people will still ask you questions like, when will you get married? Or don't you want kids? But most of the time, it comes from concern, not judgment. They're thinking about your future, your happiness, your companionship, not your value as a person. There is also another reality that people don't always talk about. Many titas did not choose to be single at first. Some of them became the breadwinner, especially as the eldest daughter. They worked early. They supported their parents. They helped raise their siblings, and later on their nieces and nephews. By the time they had the chance to think about their own life, they were already used to being the strong one, the provider, the independent one. Then there are also those who truly choose this path. They enjoy their peace, their space, their freedom. They travel, they work, they live quietly, and they still help their family when needed, but they're not controlled by it. In the Philippines, there is also this belief that it's never too late. People in their 40s, 50s, even older still get married, still find partners. So there's less pressure to rush, and less fear of being too late. And I think that mindset really helps, because it removes that invisible timer. Now I want to connect this to being an INFJ. Because for INFJs, this kind of pressure feels even heavier. We already feel different most of the time. We already think deeply. We already question things that other people just accept. So when society adds this timeline, it can feel very draining, very overwhelming. In my case, choosing to live solo was not just a random decision. It started as a survival response. I needed peace. I needed space. I needed control over my own life. But over time, it became something else. It became a thriving response. It became a choice, not a reaction. Now, I don't see my life as something that is running out of time. I see it as something that I own. And that includes my future plans. Because, let's be real, in the Philippines, we don't have a strong system for retirement or elderly care. So many people depend on their children. That is why a lot of families push for marriage and having kids. Not just for love, but for security. And I understand that. But in my situation, I made a different decision. I don't want to depend on anyone. I don't want to reach a point where I have to ask help from people I am not comfortable with. So I am building my life in a way where I can support myself, even when I get older. That is one of the reasons why I am doing this, why I am working, why I am trying to grow this channel. Because I want to create my own safety net, slowly, step by step. And I know it's not easy, especially with health issues, especially with uncertainty. But I would rather face that than live a life that does not feel right for me. And if there is one thing I want to be very clear about, it's this. Your life does not expire just because you reached a certain age. You are not a product. You are not something to be sold or used before a deadline. Your value does not decrease with time. In fact, in many ways, it grows. Because you gain experience, wisdom, strength, and self-awareness. Maybe the real question is not, what is your expiry date? But, who decided that timeline for you? And more importantly, are you willing to follow it, or are you ready to create your own? So now I want to ask you, honestly, have you ever felt pressured by this invisible timeline? And if yes, how did you deal with it? Or, how are you dealing with it right now? I would really like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I am currently working toward my goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can finally monetize this channel and turn this passion into a sustainable part of my future. This is my unfiltered diary of solo living in the Philippines, and your support helps me keep this channel growing. If you would like to help out even more, you can check out the Buy a Treat for My Pets link in the description. My dogs definitely appreciate the love. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the next update. Thank you for being such an important part of this journey. I will see you in the next one.